Good morning, children. Chapter 10, Weather and Climate. So, dear children, so far we have studied the factors influencing climate. Factors influencing climate. So, in that we saw the factors that affect the climate of a place. Now, we saw in that and we studied distance from the equator, that is latitude, height above the sea level, second point, third one distance from the sea, and fourth one is wind. So these are the four factors that can be affected climate of a place. So now we'll move on to the fifth one we studied, even humidity. Now we'll move on to the page number 66, climate or heat zones of the world. Climate or heat zones of the world. So children, you can see the pictures here. You can see the pictures. The North Pole is there up, the North Pole, and if you come down, this is a South Pole. North Pole and the South Pole, and here you can see the frigid zone, means the cold or the frozen area. So you can see here both North Pole as well as South Pole. So the frozen zone, and here also the frozen zone. Then you can see here Arctic Circle, the North Temperate Zone, and Tropic of Cancer, that is 23.5 North. Then Torrid Zone. Then comes the equator. This is the equator, where the North Pole and South Pole have been divided equally as a northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. And when you come towards the South Pole, again we have, after the equator, Tropic of Capricorn, South Temperate Zone, and the Antarctic Circle. So this is about 66.5 towards south, 23.5 towards south, and the equator always remains in a 0 degree. And once again the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 north, and the North Pole, that is Arctic Circle, 66.5 north. So this is the globe or the earth in the another way. So this is how the earth has been formed. So now let us see what is the heat zones of the world. The earth is divided into 3 heat zones of the world. These are divided based on the amount of heat received from the sun. So children, actually the heat of the zones have been divided in the world based on the amount of heat they receive from the sun. So there are 3 heat zones of the world. They are as under. The first one is the torrid zone, second the temperate zone, and third is the frigid zone. So now let us study one by one. So of course the heat zones of the world, the earth is divided into 3 heat zones, and these are also even divided based on the amount that they receive from the sun. So there are 3. First one is the torrid zone, the temperate zone, and the frigid zone. The first one is torrid zone. The torrid zone lies between lies between Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere and the Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere. So in previous picture has shown you the North Pole and the South Pole. So the torrid zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer, which comes in the northern hemisphere, and the Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere. So I already shown in the picture. Once again you can see here. This is the torrid zone and this is the equator. This is the equator and this is North Pole and this is South Pole. So this is called the northern hemisphere and this is called the southern hemisphere. So this region lies at the equator and region on its either side. So this torrid zone lies at the equator. You can see here exactly it is on the center of the equator. So it is lies. Lies means exactly it comes on the equator and the region on its either side. So it is there in the northern side also and it falls to the southern part also. So it receives maximum heat. It receives maximum heat as the sun's rays fall directly on this area, making it hot throughout the year. So why it receives the maximum heat, children? Because it is at the center of the equator. It is a center of the equator. Of course, the rays of the sun fall directly on this area. So therefore, what it happens? It receives the maximum heat directly from the sun. So therefore, this place always remains very hot and heat. Some places have heavy rainfall. It has hot and wet climate. It is also known as a tropical zone. So some places have heavy rainfalls because it has got both hot and wet climate. So therefore it receives heavy rainfall because of its hot and wet climate. So this is known as a tropical zone. Tropical zone. So next, temperate zone. Temperate zone. So the temperate zone is the area that lies between the tropical of Cancer and the Arctic circle in the northern hemisphere, and the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic circle in the southern hemisphere. So once again you see the picture here, children. The temperate zone and the northern temperate zone as well as the south or the southern temperate zone. So this is a Tropic of Cancer and this is a Tropic of Capricorn. So the temperate zone is the temperate zone is the area that lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic circle in the northern hemisphere, and the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic circle in the southern hemisphere. The sun's rays fall slanting over these areas. The sun's rays fall slanting over these areas and it goes on decreasing towards the poles. So the climate is neither too hot nor too cold. See children, the sun's rays fall slanting. Slanting means not very straight over these areas, and it goes on decreasing. See, when the rays of the sun are slanting and does not fall directly, the rays of the sun on the equator or the north pole or the south pole. So therefore what happens, the heat of the sun goes decreasing because it is not very direct effective. Since it is rays are slanting, so it does not affect much the heat. So therefore those areas will go decreasing towards the poles. So therefore the climate in those places too hot nor too cold. So it will be a moderate because of the sun rays of the slanting. Because the sun rays are slanting, so therefore the particular area it can be north pole or south pole. So they receive the moderate weather, I can say, not too hot nor too cold. So children, so today we studied the climate or heat zones of the world. The first one torrid zone and the second one is temperate zone. So in next class we study about the frigid zone. So okay children, so till then go through the lesson. Please read the lesson for yourself.